Yeah, if you ain't talking about that large money, then that conversation ain't at all for me. Too many niggas satisfied with just call money. A new chain, couple bottles at the bar money. We need that. 2 acres for the yard money. Diversified portfolios and bond money. Pull a few strings, that guitar money. Try to run up on me? Nah, money. Getting at it from the AM to the PM. Smooth fat boy, that's a door by your BM. They love it when they see him. We still in the hood, but we on top like the alternators in the GMs. You feeling this?
But anyway, it's time to get the show really started, beginning with our first guest, 2-time super middleweight champion, Anthony Dirrell. Anthony, my first question to you is, what is the situation in Michigan right now, and how are you and your family doing?
It's bad in Genesee County. It's not as bad as, Detroit or Southfield or something like that. But, we got cases, and that's the sad thing. But, we're dealing with it, like everyone in the country is dealing with it, staying indoors. I'm visiting my grandfather right now. We got a curfew of 9 o'clock. I think everything that they're doing is right, because the cases is going down. We don't have as many. That's even in New York. If you're looking at the news, the cases is going down. This keep your distance thing is it's a great thing, especially for this. I think China has already closed their last hospital on it, so they succeeded in defeating it. And I know the U.S., as powerful as we can succeed if people, do the right thing.
Right. Now, you do a lot of work in your community. Are there any initiatives now that you're a part of regarding this latest pandemic?
Well, I'm trying to get together to raise money, for something online. I reached out to a few people. I don't know who we have yet, so I don't want to, say, but, just trying to raise money and aware of people on this and still give people clean water. They tell us to wash our hands. They tell us to, stay social distance, but we can't wash our hands with dirty water. So, that's a situation that has to be resolved still. And I think they're not even fixing pipes because of it. So we still have to bring awareness to the water situation and getting it done, getting the pipes done. They've been since April 14, 2014 that we had bad water. And I think that's long enough for any city, any state in America to go through without clean water.
Anthony, what kind of progress have they made with that project?
With the water situation?
With the water situation, yeah. I mean, have they made any progress?
Yeah, they made progress. I think 80% of the pipes are done. But you still have the wonder in your mind is what pipes are done. Is it the minority pipes are done, or is it not the minority pipes? And that's who we got to look out for, because the other people are can afford to get water. Or we all need good water. I'm not saying one person is better than another, but when you have a family of 5 kids and they can't drink water and they can't go out and buy water, then what do? You have to sit back and look at all the options and go from there. I think, like I say, we still need to bring awareness up to this situation because it's still an ongoing thing. I think people don't realize that it's still going. I think people think that it's fixed. It's not, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah, that is sad. Anthony, you obviously have a passion to give back, to work with your community. Where does that come from? People.
I've seen people else doing it. I've seen a guy named Mateen Cleaves, former NBA star, Morris Peterson, Charlie Bell. All these people, Jeff Greer. All these people give back. And, when you see that as a kid, you intend to do the same thing. And that's what it's about. It's about a domino effect, especially on the younger generation. They see you doing it and they want to help also. So you do that and it can keep evolving down the line.
Great. You could give back in another way too. Have you considered becoming a trainer when it's time to walk away as a fighter?
I don't know yet. I'm not for sure. I say I'll just right now stick to commentating.
Okay.
But boxing. Most people don't understand what goes into boxing. Trainers have a hard job also. They're just not there to tell you what to do and you say no or something, but they have a hard job too because they're away from their family. They have to tell you to do something. It's up to you to do it or not. And if you don't do it, they get frustrated. It's very stressful. So am I prepared to go through something like that? I'm not for sure yet. I think I'll just weigh my options and rest up and take a few years to enjoy my family. Well, this time right now I'm enjoying my family, but and then I'll have a decision on whether I want to train or commentate or do both. I mean, I don't see the harm in doing both. I think Emmanuel Stewart did it great.
That's right. Yeah, he did a great job with that, and he was from Michigan, so.
Yeah, he was from Michigan. Crunk.
That's right. Now, speaking of training, who are some of the young fighters today that have caught your eye from Michigan or anywhere else, really?
Devin Haney for sure. You got my cousin, Leon Lawson, the third. You got Ryan. Clarissa Shields would only have 11 fights with three division weight champion. I mean, it's a lot of young fighters out here. That's good. And you even got Prime Time from New York. I mean, I don't think you can really leave him out. He's an excellent fighter, especially when he put his foot down and goes at it. But like I say, man, it's a lot of young talent out here that's ready to compete for a championship, and I think it's a good thing for boxing, just to bring boxing back into the limelight more than what it is.
Yeah. Now you last fought.
I really miss boxing. Like, I don't know if it's me watching fights or me training. Like, since this pandemic, like, I really, you sit back and you think about things that you can't do, and boxing is one of them.
Have you been able to train at all?
Yeah, so I got a gym. I built a basketball gym. I got a workout area in there, punching bag. So I got all that, and I use it. So I am staying active. I think anybody who has the means or the resources to stay active, especially in this game that we're in, you do it because this is your job at the end of the day. And you got to do your job to the fullest. You can't let somebody else get ahead.
We last saw you in September when you lost to David Benavidez. You were doing pretty well in that fight until you suffered that cut over your eye. With that in mind, do you want a rematch versus Benavidez?
I want a rematch. I don't think he'll give it to me.
Why not?
I don't think because I was beating him. Truthfully, I was beating him. He couldn't do the things to me what he did to other fighters, and I think it was because of my experience. Is the guy good? Yeah, he's a good fighter. Everybody knows that. I mean, but I think I was beating him until that cut. But we will never know. I mean, the cut happens. You take the wins with the losses, and hopefully I can get another shot before I go out and show the world that I am a true champion.
It's obvious that you still have that fire. When you suffer a loss like that, a disappointment like that, does that just add to your motivation?
Oh, it's not disappointing. I got cut. Things happen. I was winning a fight. It's a loss. Yes, you still go back to the drawing board. I couldn't do nothing about a cut. Cut especially from a jab. You kind of go back and reassess. What could you have done? But I'm not disappointed in my performance. I think I performed very well up to the cut. I think I still had a lot lot to give. You know, I was just getting started. I think I was wearing him down a little bit. I think he started to slow down. And I mean, like I say, we will never know what will happen if the fight would have won 12 rounds or less without the cut. But we can solve that by, you know, doing a rematch. And then I heard that Abney Yildirim had the go-ahead thing. Like, I just didn't understand that either, you know, and I questioned the WBC on it because I beat him and he still was number one for the title again right after I beat him. And then when I lost to David Benavidez, I went down to 7. Like, I just never understood that. How is he in front of me and I just beat him without him having another fight? Like, I never understood that. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to do some reassessing and see where everything goes.
Now, you mentioned the cut, and you were doing pretty well up until that cut opened up. It's been an issue in your past few fights. Is that something you're just going to have to deal with? Is there any way you can rectify that going forward?
Move my head a little bit more. You know, I'm a fighter. I like to fight. I mean, everybody that sees my fight knows that. I think I can take a punch pretty well. Or is it just getting the order of my skin looking a little looser? I don't know. But, you know, just move my head a little more and box, you know, do what I did the first half of that fight. And, you know, I can avoid being cut as I did. But, you know, you can't stop that with a jab. I mean, it's boxing. You're going to get hit. You don't know what punch is going to cut you. So you just take it. You know, you take it how it comes.
Now, you mentioned before also working as a Fox Sports boxing analyst for PBC shows. Is that something you enjoy doing?
Oh, I love it. I think it's, you know, it's good for boxing, for ex-fighters to get in there and talk about boxing because they know what's going on. They know what they need to do to win or something like that. I love it. You know, it's an honor for Fox to even call me and tell me that, you know, they have a show for me to do or something like that. And I get a lot of compliments of me, you know, calling the fight. So, you know, I think I can turn this into a career also.
No,
it's not just boxing. If I have the opportunity to do other things, I think I can because I'm a sports guy. So I know a lot about all sports and, I mean, we could just go from there.
Now, what's the hardest part about doing it for boxing? I mean, you're being outside of the ring and commentating on the fights instead of being inside the ring and actually participating.
It's just the hardest thing about commentating is if you have two friends in there and they're fighting, you can't be biased. You have to call the fight as it goes. You can't be one-sided. You have to call the fight how it goes, and you have to say what needs to be said. So, and that's the main thing, you know, you got to put the business side and the friendship side aside and call the fight correct.
Anthony, is there a learning curve doing this, or is it sort of just come naturally to you?
I think it comes natural because I've been doing boxing so long that when I see something, I can, assess it or analyze it,
right?
And you know, call it as I see it. And it been a few times that I called something right before it happened, and it was like, how did you know that was going to happen? I mean, because like I said, I've been doing it so long that I see it before it even happens.
Does that make you hungry to get back into the ring, or are you able to completely separate yourself? I mean, you go from fighter to commentator, and those are two completely different things.
Yeah, you have to separate yourself. You can't. I mean, sometimes you put yourself in that position and say what you will do, or say what needs to be done, but you still have to separate yourself. I get a little anxious. Yes, I want to get back in there and fight, but you still have to be professional and call the things right. Call how you see it. You know, stay comfortable, stay poised at that time as you're doing everything that you do. You know, you stay poised, you stay focused on the task at hand.
Okay, finally, obviously you're not finished with boxing, actually boxing. That's clear. What else do you feel you need to accomplish or want to accomplish before you do move a different direction?
I think I accomplished everything. I just want to prove to myself, out of anybody, that I'm a true champion. I was a 2-time world champion. I am a 2-time world champion, and I came back from cancer. My goal once I came back from cancer was to become a world champion. I did that, plus another belt. And my goal was to do that for me and my grandfather. And I did that twice. So I think I've done everything I needed to do. But I still, I'm in love with the game. When you still got it, you still got it. That's basically how it is.
Fantastic. Anthony, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. As always, the best to you and your family in these difficult times.